Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, if you check on how this government is spending, you would think that this is a country where no one can sleep hungry. You would think Kenya is a country where everyone can afford basic quality education. You would think that Kenya is a country where everyone can afford free medical attention or treatment. You would think Kenya is okay, but the opposite is the reality. Ukiangalia ile budget kwa ofisi ya William Ruto, kwa ofisi ya Gachagua, the fuel gatherers that they are using, the number of vehicles, a fleet of vehicles, they're just moving from one point to another. Then you wonder, really, ni ukweli Kenya ni, even the developed countries, they don't spend like that. But that is happening here in Kenya. Kenya is a country where we have poor people who cannot even afford a single meal on a day. When you have your meal today, you're not sure of tomorrow. Where we cannot afford medical care, where education is expensive, where many of the people do not have jobs. But Statehouse is spending more. Our members of parliament, our governors, they spend without thinking of the state of their own people. But the Migori woman rep, Fatuma, has a message for these people. That as you spend so, be aware that there is only one equalizer. That equalizer is death. But again, she's saying that she's not scared of the death. What she's scared about is what she will answer once she's there. That what did you do for your people when you were given an opportunity to serve in a leadership position? This was an argument she was giving in the National Assembly, but you would see the guilty were scared and afraid when they tried to challenge her position or what she was trying to say. Silvana Sosoro is the majority whip in the National Assembly, and she tried several to disrupt the Migori woman rep in her statement, but her position was very clear. Listen to her shortly, then we're going to continue with this discussion.
That equalizer is death. When you die, you will leave those scars.
Is it in order for Honorable Fatuma, that the only equalizer is death?
I'm reminding you, as a Muslim, I am not scared of death. I'm scared of the day of judgment. But you come to Kenya, the poor country, with overloaded debts, a governor, a president, passes with all those motorcades, and you wonder where they're going to. But I want to remind them, there is an equalizer. That equalizer is death. When you die, you will leave those scars. When you die, you will go to your God, and God will have one question for you. I gave you an opportunity to live in your country and lead your country. I'm speaking out of reality, and don't be scared of death. Me as a Muslim, I'm not scared.
Honorable Speaker, I just want to, I don't know, is it in order for Honorable Fatuma to impose threats and blackmail while passing a very important message, that the only equalizer is death? I mean, can't this house mitigate such challenges without really death? Must we die for us to save people from the public death? I mean...
sorry if that touched your heart, but I want to remind you again that you are a candidate for death. All of us will die. And I'm reminding you, as a Muslim, I am not scared of death. I'm scared of the day of judgment. And that is why it's my responsibility as a Muslim sister. My book tells me that always remind your brother and sister when they are wrong. Because the day of judgment, I will be next to you and I will be asked, you as a member of parliament, you saw your president, you saw your governor, you saw your minister going around with all these cars and people were dying of hunger. What did you do? What answer will I have in front of my creator? The answer will be, I spoke and it is on record. And the devil will say, surely I am a witness. And the angels will say, our sister spoke and she spoke the truth. Dear Kenyans, let us tell our leaders this is too much on us.
Now we are continuing this particular discussion, but just a quick request for those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to our channel. Subscribers, I must say thank you so much, and again to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, the fact remains that no matter when you are rich, you are poor, you are middle class, wewe ni binadamu, you will at one point leave all those that you have and you will go back to your maker. So the warning is here to the leaders who are amassing wealth, using our taxpayers' money and the position of influence they have as of now, forgetting that one time they will leave everything and they will face the reality. This is a strong message to such kind of leaders. The fact remains that we have leaders of today who spend without thinking of the welfare of the people they are leading. Just go and check on the latest budget of William Samoei Ruto in Statehouse. Hata Uhuru kumbe alikuwa anajua kuna maskini. The fact remains that on the first 6 months time of William Ruto, he spent a 1-year budget that Uhuru was using in 6 months time. Miezi 6 ametumia budget ya mwaka mzima. So they had again to go and seek for another budget. That tells you that Ruto is spending 2 times in 1 year what Uhuru was spending in 1 year time. And now in the latest budget, the figures are clear, they have doubled. In the first time, they went for supplementary budget because they used everything in 6 months' time. When he spent so, you go to Turkana, you find a sad story. You cannot imagine if you are still in Kenya. You go to Marsabit, you go to Mandera, you go to eastern area, you would think that you are not in Kenya, where people need a strategic plan to get water, clean drinking water and irrigation water. Hamuna, where you cannot, yani mtu uko na shamba kubwa that has no value because you can't even farm or do anything that can bring money. But the government has the capacity to use the available resources to change the situation of the people in such kind of areas. Kazi yao ni kuendesha magari kubwa, kuishi maisha kubwa, lakini ni kutumia pesa za ushuru wa wananchi. In Turkana, people don't have dress. Hawana nguo. They don't have cloth. In Turkana, there is no food. There is no manufacturing taking place there. No serious farming. Ile wako tunayo tu ni mambo ya cattle keeping. Na pia kuna shida kubwa kule, sababu pia kuna vita vya kupigania tu malisho ya ng'ombe, uwanja wa malisho. There's a problem there. Educating children in those areas is a problem. But we have people who are living big in government, spending taxpayers' money, increasing their budget expenditure. Now you go and compare that to the money that goes to project. You find that the spending in this country is largely on a recurrent budget. But when it comes to development, sijui ni 10% ama ni 5% or ni 1%. Hii ingine ni recurrent peke yake. So we lose value for our money. The question is, for how long will you live this big life? That is what Migori woman rep is talking about. That there is an equalizer in as much you are doing all this, But you will be answerable to so many things when you leave this world. Kama wewe ni Mkristo, ama wewe ni Muislamu, ama unaamini kwa imani fulani ambayo wewe mwenyewe unajua na huyo Mungu wako. What will you answer when such a time will come? That is what she's trying to address here. And you can see Osoro is not comfortable with this kind of discussion because he knows if you go to Gachagwa's office, the budget that Uhuru was allocating to William Ruto was doubled. You go to William Ruto's office, it is same. You go to Mudavadi office, nothing different. Everywhere, that is what is happening. They do so, forgetting that the money that they have collected, it has come from the poor people. Ukienda kununua tu kitu kwa duka kule kuna ushuru, VAT unakatwa. So, whether you are employed or not, you pay taxes. At least every Kenyan is paying taxes. But we cannot realize the value for our taxes because we have a leadership that has concentrated more on a recurrent budget expenditure than development. If we would have a leadership that will concentrate on development, then we can move from this poor state we are in now and move to the middle class, where everyone can afford to live a dignified life. Kuna watu wanakufa tu hospitali kwa sababu they cannot pay for their bills. They cannot afford medical. We have some areas in this country where education is so much unaffordable. Imekuwa so much expensive. Mtu alifukuza tu hana uniform. Kwa hawezi enda shule where parents cannot even afford meals for their own children. Wametuambia equalizer ni nini? To leave all these things. When you see Osoro making noise and disrupting, they know what they are doing in this government. They know very well what their boss is doing. They know how they are spending, even akina Osoro kwa ofisi zao. That's very sad. They need to change. How I wish they can listen to this message that is so powerful and so key to the people who presented themselves as the Christian candidates, God-fearing leaders. There is a strong message here that they need to listen to and take a decisive decision.